everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Sharon and this is a channel that is dedicated to all things related to narcissism. I make videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on all types of topics related to narcissism, so if you haven't already, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos. I would really appreciate it if you gave the video a thumbs up. It's a free way you can help me out, and definitely don't forget to leave a comment because I like to read what you have to say. Narcissists are pain machines. They're like a wrecking ball that comes into your life, and before you even know what is happening, they have demolished your entire world. All your relationships have been affected, your finances are wiped out, your security and peace of mind don't exist. Your morals and values, your empathy, all of it was used against you. You may resemble yourself physically, but after one of these vile and disgusting creatures get their hooks into you, you are never the same again. Until you leave and go no contact, you are a mere shadow of your former self. Narcissists reach right inside our bodies. They take scissors to our souls. They shred them. We are left reeling and in shock from the abuse, mental exhaustion, and confusion. But that's not it. There's more. These demons from hell manage to mess with our mental health as well. In today's video, I'm going to discuss some of the ways that narcissists affect our mental health. The first one I'm going to discuss is the one I believe is the most obvious: stress. Stress is a mental or emotional strain or tension resulting from very demanding circumstances. Of course, the very demanding circumstances are living with a compulsive liar, serial cheater, master manipulator, actor, thief, possibly psychotic and deranged being with no empathy, values, or morals, all rolled into one seriously effed up individual. After a while, you don't know what is real and what isn't. You are experiencing constant mind games, silent treatments, possibly physical abuse, and occasional love bombing, just to make sure that you don't even think of ever leaving this winner. Stress will trigger persistent feelings of worry, nervousness, fear, as well as physical symptoms like chest pains, migraines, high blood pressure, and exhaustion. You will feel mentally unhinged being around a narcissist for any length of time. Then, of course, there's a close relative of stress, anxiety. Anxiety is the reaction to stress. Symptoms of anxiety can range from dizziness, trembling, excessive sweating, feeling like you are literally going to have a heart attack, to constant feelings of dread, difficulty concentrating, and panic attacks. Panic attacks are one of the worst things I've ever experienced, and I haven't even had that many. I've had like 4 or 5 in the last couple of years in my entire life. I know people that get them regularly. They are absolutely horrendous. You can't breathe. You are just, it's like a vacuum comes and takes all hope and joy from you. That's a real reality for people who are in relationships with narcissists. It's a constant feeling of distress. For years, I felt severe anxiety descend on me anytime my ex was on his way home from work. I never knew what type of mood he was going to be in. I was always walking on eggshells. It was so bad. So often, we literally are completely focused on the narcissist, and subconsciously we give them the power that they are only too happy to use against us. Then there's anger issues. Anger, even rage, is normal, but it's an upsetting response to exposure to a narcissist. Fear, shame, guilt, regret, and hate can overwhelm you. Typically, a victim is in a near constant state of confusion before learning about narcissism. You don't know what's going on in your own life. Then, as you learn about narcissism, the betrayal, the intentional cruelty, the shock of realizing, oh my gosh, I was abused, it can take on a life of its own. I've gone through intense feelings of hatred for my ex, and this is especially in response to things that my children have suffered. My ex took part of their childhood. He stole it, and I'm a mama bear about that. These anger issues can manifest into frustration and helplessness. You are in this insane situation, and the insanity of the situation can make you feel like you actually aren't okay. If you don't get a handle on it, you might take it out on undeserving people, the other people who have suffered under the narcissist, like your children, or even your pets. Or God forbid, you might be tempted to actually hurt the narcissist. Now, of course, they would deserve that, and I'm not going to tell you that a narcissist doesn't deserve it, but I'll say this: they are not worth going to jail over. And I know we can get through this. I know it seems a lot of times like we can't, but we absolutely can. If you believe in God, vengeance is His. If you get vengeance, and this is something that has helped me tremendously, because I've sat there and had fantasies about hurting my ex. If I hurt my ex, if I did anything, God might not punish him. And I can tell you this, I know this, God's punishment is far worse than anything we could think of ever. So I'm going to leave it to God. Then there's addiction issues. I've already mentioned the hell of being in a relationship with a narcissist, this giant evil tornado of havoc that never relents, except during brief love bomb stages. And even then, even when you are experiencing a love bomb, I mean, so many of us, when we're in these relationships, we live for the love bomb. But the reality is that the reason that they're giving us a love bomb in the first place is because they did something horrible that necessitated it. I can easily understand how someone could get addicted to drugs or alcohol to cope with a narcissist. I remember reading about people who had surgery before anesthesia and how painful it was. Those of us in relationships with narcissists who don't use a form of anesthesia by doing drugs or drinking are feeling that deep agony of the soul, stone cold sober. We're like those people in the past biting towels and screaming. Of course, if you become an addict, the narcissist is not going to help you. No, they'll use it against you. It will be just one more thing to needle you with. Then there's eating disorders. An argument can be made that ultimately eating disorders are about control in the first place. When you're living in hell with the narcissist, you definitely feel like you have no control. An eating disorder is a way to have some control in your life. Of course, none of this is conscious. There are several types of eating disorders. I'll just mention the more common ones. There's binging. So think about the stereotypical image of someone consuming a pint of ice cream after a breakup. Then there's severely restrictive eating and binging and purging. An eating disorder occupies a good part of the day. You're either battling hunger or planning your next binge. It can be a distraction from the narcissist, a welcome distraction, and you mistakenly think that you're in control of something finally. Of course, a narcissist's reaction to your eating disorder, if they know, will vary. When I was a teenager and had anorexia, my narcissist father praised me. He believes even now that the thinner a woman is, the better. So he would use me to taunt my mother. Wow, look at Sharon. There's someone who wants to look good. I mean, he put me in that position. Now, oddly, my ex did not like me ever getting compliments. So I don't know if it's, a difference between an overt narcissist like my father or a covert, because my father did like me getting compliments. My ex, definitely not. So whether it was for my weight or anything else, if my ex heard or knew about someone complimenting me, typically it would mean he would have to say something to negate the compliment. What comes to mind is several years ago, I made a cheesecake and I had it for dessert one Christmas. His mother actually complimented me on it. Instead of just letting me get a compliment, he said, "Oh, you should have seen how it looked before she put the cherries on top. There's a huge crack on top of it." Like that type of thing, every single time. So in essence, in many ways, narcissists want us to be failures. It's weird, a typical partner wants good things to happen to you, not a narcissistic partner. You are in direct competition with a narcissist, and at all costs, even at your failure, they must win. They don't care if their spouse is hurt. It doesn't matter to them. Another issue that a lot of people have is sleep disorders. Narcissistic abuse doesn't just affect you during the day. It is the gift that keeps on giving 24 hours a day. Wow, what a blessing. I've been separated from my ex for almost 2 years, but my sleep schedule is still messed up. I have insomnia. So for 1 solid year now, I've slept on average 2 to 4 hours a night. Now, generally, once I'm asleep, I don't keep waking up, but I hardly ever sleep more than 4 hours. Other people, Joe, for example, have a need for more sleep than is typical for them. It can be very frustrating. Now, personally, I like needing limited sleep because I use the time to get things done, such as making YouTube videos. Of course, this could be an issue when Joe and I are living together next month. Now, then there's escapism. That's another issue that can crop up. Substance abuse, which I know I already mentioned, compulsive gambling, reckless driving, dangerous sports, cutting, or even getting piercings or tattoos. It's a mental diversion from an unpleasant life. I did that with piercings. Over the last few years, I got a few painful ear piercings because the rush of pain was a distraction. I know that probably sounds weird, but it made me realize, now I'm not a cutter, but it made me realize that I can actually understand the relief that it brings people, because it does. It's almost like the eating disorder or substance abuse, anything else. When you are with a narcissist, it is a constant weight on you. You're constantly feeling it. It's not just occasionally, it's all encompassing. So any relief that you have, even if it's painful, it feels good, because narcissistic abuse is unbearable. Then there's delusional thinking. Sometimes it seems that narcissists have the ability to control our minds. It's not true. The problem really is that we trust them for a long time. We want them to be good people, and we think that their false persona is real for a long time. It's a struggle later when we know the truth and can clearly see the red flags and understand how we believe their lies and false promises that they broke over and over. It's embarrassing and it hurts. Narcissists love to future fake. They love to tell you, like, oh, next time it's going to be different. This time it's going to be different. I promise. Oh, gosh, I don't want to hurt you. I love you. And you want to believe that it's true for so long because your whole life is wrapped up in this person. Then when the day comes and you understand this person was lying to me all the time, it's humiliating. When I think back to all the chances that I gave my ex, I didn't give him a second chance. I gave him a 5,000th chance. This is what happens to us. We don't understand. I mean, it's like I said earlier, you're living in this confusion. You don't get this person. This is why I say they're not human. There's something so seriously messed up with them. You try to relate to them as you would relate to another human, but they are a different species. So all these things affect us drastically, and it all comes down to us trying to relate to them as another human. Now, another one that I'm going to mention, a serious one, they're all serious, but is depression. Depression is persistent feelings of worthlessness and despondency. It's like you have a constant heaviness over you that feels impossible to get out from under. Narcissists, quite simply, they're thieves of joy. They're thieves of anything good. I don't know how it would be possible to be in a relationship with a narcissist and not feel depression on a regular basis. Of course, the danger with depression is taking drastic measures to end your grief. For anybody who feels helpless in the situation with a narcissist, please listen to me here. You can get away from the narcissist. You're not trapped, really. I believed for years that I was trapped. I felt like I was a bird in a cage. I was desperate for relief and kindness. My ex took away my life. There was a time that I didn't have one friend, no support, none. I felt horrible about myself. I had no family support. Today, right now, as I make this video, I have no family support. I gave up a career. I suffered for years with an eating disorder that threatened my life. I was a single mother despite being married. I lost 2 babies without anyone offering me a kind word. And I'm not telling you any of this because I'm boo-hooing myself. I'm telling you this so you can understand that I'm not coming from an easy place. Also, I'm very open on my channel, but there are things that I choose not to mention. There's more I had to overcome. And I'll tell you something too. I regularly hear people tell me that I'm strong. It's not true. What people are seeing in me is the ability to tolerate pain. That isn't strength. It's a reality of lifelong abuse. And I'm used to dealing with it alone. It's new to me to have somebody in my life that cares. Joe is literally the only person in this entire world who knows me completely, and that involves my kids too. And that happened slowly, and with him basically pulling teeth. If you are in a bad way, I'm telling you, you can get out. You're not trapped. It might take time, but a beautiful life is worth it. And certainly, above all things, do not let a narcissist take your life. No. Never give them that satisfaction. I know what it's like to be tired and empty and ready to say farewell to it all. But the truth is this, it is always too soon to quit, always. You don't know what's right around the corner. My life changed drastically on March 26th when Joe suddenly came into my life. I had no idea on March 25th what was coming tomorrow. You don't know what's coming tomorrow. You're blessed to be alive. So make plans. Don't be afraid to dream and to love and to begin again. Personally, I believe that taking care of God's other children is a way to be happy. So make somebody else smile and see how that makes you feel. One thing all of these issues have in common is that together they make up some of the symptoms of PTSD. There are other symptoms too: hypervigilance, paranoia, panic attacks. Being involved with a narcissist is like being in the war. You have to fight for your very existence, day in and day out. The truth is that narcissists are actually very insecure, but they have this ability to absorb good people's traits and leave us with their negative ones. Have you ever watched movies where two people switch bodies? So those are fun movies to watch, but in real life for it to happen is a nightmare. And that's what's happening to many of us. I don't suffer from PTSD the way many of you do, the way my daughter does, but I can tell you what I do when my daughter has an issue with her symptoms. I remind her where she is. I remind her that she's safe, that her fear isn't real. No one's going to hurt her. I remind her of the truth about who her father is. The only power he has over her now is in her mind. We breathe deeply in and out. Most importantly, she knows her mind can help her or hurt her in this situation. We focus on what she has power and control over. When her symptoms come over her, she feels like she's drowning. But once she gets a grip on determination, the symptoms start to subside. Narcissists mess with our reality. Only we control our lives. There's life after narcissistic abuse. Don't be afraid to live. Be bold. A good life is always one choice away. God bless you all. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that it's helped. All of these symptoms, all of these ways that a narcissist affects you mentally don't have to be permanent. If you haven't already, like I said, please subscribe to the channel. Please like the video. I will be back on Friday with another video, and I hope everybody has a wonderful day. God bless you.